Hi, in the previous tutorial we saw how to configure WSO2 with IBM MQ. In this tutorial, uh, so suppose that you want to give your client a feedback on whether the message was delivered to the queue or whether a network failure occurred or whatever. In this sender proxy configuration that we have used, you can't give such a feedback because we have used this out only and force SC accepted properties, which makes sure that as soon as this request is sent to the endpoint, this will respond. This will not wait for a response, but would respond back to the client saying to or to accepted. But if you want to respond to the client, saying it drop to the queue, or if you want to implement a fold sequence or an out sequence here, you cannot do this using this method. So let me explain how to do this using this in WSO2 EI or ESB. So I will delete this listener proxy that we created, so it won't be listening, only now we'll be sending. So I will go to the source view and I'll go to the design view and I will add an out sequence. Before that I will delete this force SC accepted property. Yeah, I'll delete this. Then I will change this send mediator to a call mediator. I will save. Then I will add an false out sequence. So in the out sequence I will add a payload factory. I will be sharing this code with you. I will add this payload factory, which would simply return this JSON. So I'll add this payload factory and I will complete the out sequence tag. And I will also add a send mediator, so the response will be returned to the client. So I'll save this, and suppose now I want to add a false sequence. I'll also add a false sequence and it will be same as the out sequence, and I will have a different payload factory. I will have this payload factory which just returns an error, says it's an error, the response is an error. So I will close the false sequence and I will use the respond mediator here, because you need to use the respond mediator when you are responding from the false sequence, but you can use the send mediator when you are responding from the out sequence. So I will save this false sequence. Now I will click on finish. Now I have this send proxy that has a payload factory that returns this answer when it hits the out sequence, and a payload factory here that sends a response. But what we are lacking here is we need because this out only property, we need a loopback mediator here. This will not make sure that as soon as the call mediator is done, it will loop back to the out sequence. So I have added the loopback mediator. Let me save it, and then I will earlier in the video we created this Q1 and JMS Q connection factory. Let me call this proxy using raster. The sender proxy, and I will have some body and a header is content XML, and I will call this proxy you can see this message is posted to the queue. You have got this payload that we passed here. Now if I want, so if you want to make this to go to false sequence, I can change this connection factory to something that does not exist. Or if you hadn't specified the queue name in the connection factory, you can queue name or the destination in the connection factory, you can just change its queue name. But since I have already specified a queue name in the connection factory, I will change this connection factory to a different variable and save it. Now it should go to the false sequence and it will return that false sequence value that we specified. So you can see that it has returned this unexpected error, but you can see this status code. To change the status code, the trick that we use, if you want to change the status code, you can use this configuration here. You can use this property if you want to say it's a 500 gateway issue or whatever. You can say before the send, we'll set the status code to 500. Then I will save it and I will send a message, and you can see 500 internal server error. And for the out sequence, if you want to set the status code to say (202) accepted, because you don't want 2 or 200. Okay, if you want 202 accepted, you can set that. And I have to change the connection factory to the correct value. This will say that 202 accepted, and it will give this message. So that's how you give feedback to your customer on the